Well, Christmas is over, my friends, and we have finally entered the dead zone, that period between Christmas and New Year's where it seems like nothing ever happens except maybe a little contemplation. These are those few days a year where you trip out on how has another year passed so quickly, and yet you kind of sit there and think, boy, so much has changed in just 1 year. Certainly feels like a lot changes every year down here at Disneyland, especially in the last few years. It just goes faster and faster with the changes. And normally this is where if you have a YouTube channel like this, you might think back on the past year, you might do a year in review and try to wrap your head around all the changes that have happened. But as trippy of an exercise as that can be, I'm down here taking it way more than one step further because I am down here tripping out and contemplating the past 10 years in which so much has changed at DCA over here, at Disneyland across the way, in my personal life, I'm sure in your personal life. Now, last year was the 10th anniversary of Randomland, one of the first shows on YouTube to be filmed down here at the Disneyland Resort. But this year, 2024, was really the 10th anniversary of when I felt it went up to another level. Some of the classic episodes were filmed. It's the 10th anniversary of me meeting the love of my life, Allie. Like I said, it's just unbelievable how much has changed in my life, in your lives, and especially down here at the park. So, rather than looking back over the past year, I thought we'd look back 10 years ago into the mists of time and take a look back to 2014 when so much was different. So many classic Randomland moments, so many adventures, and of course, starting about a minute into this, so many looks at what Disneyland was like 10 years ago. And let me tell you, it's a lot more different than even I appreciated until I saw this footage. So, without further ado, let's go back in time. Welcome to Calico. The only way they could put out fire was with a bucket brigade. They would take one of these buckets, scoop out the water, and hand the buckets to each other. Fire, 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 fire. North Pole?
I get $5 for a photograph there, partner.
Hello.
You boys are going up top of town. I got mail for old Red up there at the Rock House at the Hyena.
You got mail for me, you said? Excuse me?
Calico is full of all kinds of weird tourist attractions and all kinds of kitschy shops, but it was actually a real working mining town.
This looks just like the Calico mine ride. These guys have been in the glory hole so long, they're probably covered in glory.
Few people truly understand the love between two miners.
I love you, Jebediah. I know.
There's our shadows. Can we catch them?
We're like the Shadow Brothers. Living under a rock. Fun for the whole family.
Looks like my first apartment. Only my first apartment wasn't as nice.
My house still isn't as nice. I don't know what that means, Sassafras, and I don't know where my nose is either. While the park rejiggers and reconfigures itself for 2014, I want to go back in time. Perhaps most famous for Disney fans, and maybe some of you remember this firsthand, was the ticket book. On the front of the ticket book would be your admission ticket, and you would rip it off, leaving you with a bevy of assorted tickets. Now this is just a replica. Now these tickets were like money. A, B, C, and D tickets. A tickets were cheaper than B tickets, B tickets were cheaper than C tickets, you get the idea. With the opening of new thrill rides and these new high-tech attractions, Disney had to introduce their most hardcore extreme innovation ever, the E-tickets. E-ticket would be like Space Mountain, the Matterhorn, all kinds of stuff like that. Even though they were sold in ticket books from ticket booths, they were called coupons. Now, as you can imagine, people ran out of these tickets or coupons really fast. So, of course, Disneyland was peppered and littered with ticket booths. In 1982, perhaps frustrated that no one was calling them coupons, the decision was made to kill off the tickets forever. And by the time New Fantasyland opened in 1983, the tickets were all gone. But at least one of those ticket booths survived, and here it is. Bam! Back in the day, this ticket booth used to stand near the center of Fantasyland and was there for all of your A, B, C, D, E, F, G ticket needs. I'm running out of tickets. Tickets, please, more tickets. no tickets.
Between here and the Matterhorn, there is nothing but a walkway. But at one time, there was an attraction here.
Attraction?
The Skyway. Disneyland Skyway traveled all the way from Tomorrowland to Fantasyland. For 20 years, thousands of parkgoers have passed right by the Fantasyland station, perhaps wondering what the heck it is. But over the years, the trees have grown up around it, and you can barely see it up there now. Now guys, I know you want to see the inside, but I'm not one to break the rules. You can clearly see that all kept up pretty well for an abandoned station. It's been weathered over the years. Even the walkway's starting to look a little bit crooked and unstable. And the rumor is they're probably going to bulldoze it. Now remember, the Skyway was supported by these huge poles that held up the cables, and one of those huge poles was located right in this line area. The pylon that was located in what's now the queue area for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was actually replaced by that little square planter. And to this very day, that awkward square planter remains as a reminder of what used to be. Of course, one of the major relics of the Skyway is the holes through the Matterhorn. But after the Matterhorn's renovation, most of the holes were all shut up. It's too bad, because Walt Disney had a great excuse for those holes. When asked why his mountain had so many holes, he said, well, it's a Swiss mountain, isn't it? People lined up around the block to get a glimpse of the house of the future. Because the house was a showpiece for Monsanto, there was a decided emphasis on plastics. When they pass the entrance to Pixie Hollow, they are passing right by an abandoned remnant of the house of the future. Painted green and sometimes covered with green camouflage material. It's hard to spot, but once you see it, you'll be as excited as I am. Here it is, the house of the future. I'm touching the future. If you stick your head right into this bush, you too can touch the house of the future. Primarily used by cast members, the general public's really not allowed back there. With improvements to the accessibility of the ride, fewer and fewer guests had an opportunity to see the pet cemetery on the north side of the Haunted Mansion. So its legend grew and grew until it became known as the Secret Cemetery.
I just wanted to pause here for a moment to say, boy, have cameras come a long way in the past 10 years. It was so difficult coming down here and even getting those things to focus. You had to hold them really far from your face. The lenses weren't all that wide. The technology has changed a lot. So have the parks. But what I was really thinking about as I was watching that with you, I was remembering 10 years ago, none of that stuff had ever been filmed before. Nobody had ever talked about the history of these rides. Nobody had ever filmed a show down here like that. You know, nobody knew what the heck they were doing. Every time I would film myself, there were still cast members that would come up, are you trying to take a selfie? You need help taking a photo? Now, of course, everything has been filmed. Everything seems like it's been covered or copied ad infinitum. But back then it was so exciting because everything was so brand new. I gotta tell you, it was really exciting sharing things with people who lived far away, who hadn't seen them before. On the internet. And speaking of changes and friends we've lost along the way, but also places that were very exciting to show on the internet, maybe for the first time. This next clip is a real gut puncher because we've lost our friends Bob and Leroy from Oceanic Arts, but we had to go down there 10 years ago and show a bunch of Disney fans who had never heard of the place, where all those great Adventureland Tiki masks come from, and of course the real life Enchanted Tiki Room.
It's called Oceanic Arts, and it is the Mecca, the Holy Land of Tiki.
Kind of like the Home Depot of tropical decor, you know.
Big, really big, huge, and ginormous mother-in-law size.
Bob is a business genius, which leaves Leroy plenty of time to be coming up with all kinds of new crazy Polynesian art.
Well, he has a vision for business.
Leroy is such an adaptable artist that they were able to start doing all kinds of other stuff.
Maybe a little touch here and there. I've been doing some things, adding Picasso and Brock and a few other artists of the past mixed in my work.
Polynesian Hotel for Disney.
Tiki.
Bob, do you ever just get sick of Tiki stuff and just want to go on vacation to Alaska or something?
Never. People would always say, when are you guys going to get a real job? You know, so.
And you never did. People say we look alike. We're back at Disneyland! Dapper Day! What is Dapper Day? I'm glad you asked, sir. It's an excuse for everyone to dress up and look lovely out at Disneyland.
You won Dapper Day. What?
Pictures with strangers.
Like Walt wanted to dress up in our best attire to come to Disneyland.
History.
Look at all those dappered folk. And the biggest bow tie award goes to? What's your name?
Eddie.
Eddie! You win! You win the bow tie competition. Congratulations! I wish we had a prize for you. All we got is respect. Goodbye, Eddie.
For me, buying things is a fantasy. is a Princess Glow Wand.
I'm a lizard. Sure have some good gifts here, Ed. That's right, Wilbur.
I loved you in The Godfather.
I feel like a princess.
What's the best kind of sword to slay a dragon with here?
Probably one of the bigger ones.
One of the bigger ones.
The bigger the better.
That was a little much. Just think, Walt Disney stood right here looking out over his original Magic Kingdom.
George Lucas?
One of the most beloved attractions of all time, the People Mover. Each car could carry up to 4 people. There were just over 60 of these trains, meaning nearly 1,000 guests could ride the ride at any given moment, and nearly 5,000 could ride per hour. After passing the model of Progress City, the People Mover exited the building right through this tunnel. The People Mover actually traveled right behind where C-3PO and R2-D2 have their witty banter. Inside of the Little Green Men gift shop, you might spot something familiar serving as the checkout counter. All of this was once Walter Knott's actual working berry farm, and people would come from miles around to get some of his wife's famous chicken dinners. Hungry? Walter Knott started adding all kinds of little features. Just behind the original Berry Place building was one of the earliest attractions, one of the earliest of Walter Knott's artifacts. It's this grindstone. This thing is pretty cool, but of course the main attraction of this little alcove is this, a replica of George Washington's fireplace. Shake 'em, bud. Today, McDonald's is one of the biggest companies in the entire world, but it all started just off the original Route 66 in this quiet parking lot. Luckily, the founder of a chain called Juan Pollo Chicken, Albert Acura, bought the property to serve as his headquarters and preserved a piece of American history. Instead of car hops, the new McDonald's hamburgers featured self-service windows. The whole idea was to get people in and out as fast as possible, and that way you could serve way more customers. Scary. Another relic from the old McDonald's days is this quiet storage building behind the property. It once housed the offices of the original McDonald's brothers, and the rumor is that this is where they learned to perfect their kitchen system and those perfect golden fries.
Yes, delicious, delicious cheeseburger money.
It was so fun doing all that stuff, especially with my friend Adam, doing stuff like showing then and now pictures of Walt in the park and going back in time. None of that stuff had really been on YouTube before, so again, it was all brand new. It felt so exciting, but what was even more exciting was going and filming that Knott's Berry Farm history stuff, because most people, even that grew up here, really weren't that familiar with how deep that story went and all the kind of hidden treasures that were at Knott's back then, some of which are long gone now. Of course, I loved going far afield on Route 66 and seeing that McDonald's museum, but speaking of things that are long gone now, there's so many more places that we've lost coming up. We got Big Thunder Ranch, we've got Dawn the Beachcomber. Well, anyway, see for yourself.
You just go behind Big Thunder Mountain, down Big Thunder Trail, into the Big Thunder Ranch, all the way to the back, and you'll be inside the Big Thunder Jamboree.
Now, most places just have one Easter bunny, but not Disneyland. They have a whole plethora of Easter bunnies. All the Disney rabbit characters you can think of. Hello, Brer Rabbit. Thumper. Pluto thinks he's a rabbit too. What can I say? We're friends. Look at my friend, Goat. Genius. Welcome to Dawn the Beachcombers. My good friend Tyler and I are here to check out the International Tiki Marketplace. Tiki. This is the place to get every tiki-themed thing you could possibly imagine. When in Rome, when in Tiki.
We started the International Tiki Marketplace in January of 2012. And that's been our contribution to help Dawn the Beachcomber. Our first event had maybe 15 vendors and maybe 75 or 100 people to now we're over 40 vendors and we have over 400 people showing up.
You're like brothers.
Are you Tiki?
Yes.
You're here then.
I really want to get my ears pierced just to have those.
That's probably for her asthma. This area gets all kinds of wild at night when they have the Mad Tea Party. All sorts of DJs and dancing, oh my. This is where they're gonna get all down and funky later. These chairs are pretty cool, but I'm starting to feel a little mad. Muppet Vision 3D and the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. A Bug's Land may not be all that exciting for adults, but let me tell you, when you have toddlers, A Bug's Land rules. Heimbach? Like their Viking ancestors, they traveled via ship to the United States and brought their frozen countrymen here to start a new town. Nowadays, Svang is a thriving city with all kinds of unique shops and restaurants and museums. Tourists come from all over to check it out. These are my season. You would actually be surprised how comfortable this is.
What do you guys think? Handsome? Is it looking good?
That's great.
Are there any Svang secrets we should know? Buried treasure and the like?
Secrets. Nah, there's no secrets in this town. It's just a boring little Danish town that you run into anyway.
Well, we definitely have more information now.
That's a lot of information.
Time to go home and sleep well. Disneyland is open all night. I gotta find Adam the Woo. Haven't seen him for a while. Adam? Adam the Woo?
Talking to yourself? You talking to yourself, bro? Have you lost your mind? Have you gone full Disney?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm actually not even thinking coherently at the moment.
It's about to happen. Sunrise at Disneyland. This is what I came to see, because this is something you don't see every day. Disneyland at dawn. All right, it's 5:45 now, which is the official sunrise today. It's a little overcast, so we're not actually seeing the sun, but still, dawn at Disneyland. Accomplished. So we're just going to very quietly go down the hill and see the last resting place of Walt Disney. Definitely want to take off our hats for respect. Walt Disney. He definitely is the embodiment of the old saying that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
We can't stop here! This is how I totaled my first car!
Really?
No!
What was your first car?
A Lumina! A Chevy Lumina!
Is that a real car?
Yeah!
That sounds made up.
We gotta get up to 88 miles per hour!
Okay, it's our friend! Hi! Pictures with strangers! Yes, it's the most glorious, ultimate Disneyland resort, California Hidden Mickey. It's not just any hidden Mickey. This is the biggest hidden Mickey at the Disneyland Resort. Whoa, I don't like this. I hate to keep pausing the adventure here, but if you read my book, you'll know that even right from the beginning, I wanted to do a travel show. I wanted to take people far afield. But of course, I've lived and grown up right here in Anaheim, right next to Disneyland. So what better thing to start filming than my favorite place and the happiest place on earth, right in my backyard, Disneyland. But after about a year of filming mostly just the park, obviously, a few other places, Knott's Berry Farm, Calico Ghost Town, some Route 66 stuff in Southern California, we wanted to go really far afield and make a statement, because already we were having people kind of see Randomland happening and jumping on the bandwagon. We started to see more cameras popping up in the park, so we decided to take it really old school and go all the way out to the original Main Street USA in Marceline, Missouri. Well, certainly a lot of Disney fans had visited before, not in numbers like they do today. So back then it just really felt like we were in the middle of nowhere and everyone was looking at us like, what in the world are you doing here? Especially with cameras pointed at our own faces. We're back in Marceline, Missouri. And this was the boyhood hometown of none other than Walt Disney. Now this Main Street though is of course much more elaborate because Walt's team of designers not only put in elements of their own hometowns, but also took everything up a huge notch. Now despite all their input though, it was definitely Walt's memories of Marceline that were the guiding principle behind Main Street.
But let's not forget all those vaudeville acts he saw as well.
Well, vaudeville dancing, Walt Disney living.
You can definitely see the influence that this park had on Town Square and Main Street in Disneyland. Swimming is fun! Whee! We're back at Walt Disney's boyhood home. Luckily, the homeowners are fans of Walt Disney, but graciously, the owners of the property have allowed visitors to come here on what was Elias Disney's farm and experience a little bit of what it would have been like for Walt to live here. You can imagine young Walt Disney as a child played in these exact fields. He walked over this exact ground. Fantastic for me as a fan of both Walt Disney, the person and his personal journey, living the American dream, to come here and sort of put the man in context and see where for him it really all began.
Wasn't unusual. If you had a big enough bed, a horse bed as we called it back then, to have your horse sleep in the same bed with you.
I'm just a boy running Just a farm boy running.
Time to go inside Mark Twain's home.
Today we're touring Mark Twain's home where he grew up from age 7 through age 17.
Today we have a different connotation of sharing a bed than they did in those days.
The two boys probably slept up in this bed up here, and that one was just a spare bed.
I can see why he got the other kids to do this for him.
You know, man, you were right. Totally worth that $20.
Sam Clemens watched with the rest of the town in absolute horror as a man burned to death inside the city jail.
Ooh, tragedy water.
Well, then there was the time where Sam crawled through the window to sleep on the lounge inside. As the moonlight crept across the floor, it slowly revealed a dead body. In the words of Mark Twain, I went away from there. I do not say that I went away in any sort of hurry, but I simply went. I went out at the window, and I carried the sash along with me. I did not need the sash, but it was handier to take it than it was to leave it. I was not scared, but I was considerably agitated.
Hannibal! Yay, Hannibal!
And a Mark Twain pipe? Put that in your Twain and smoke it.
Wow, Huck Finn's toilet.
All right, I love Mark Twain. You can see right there just how much I wanted to take things to the next level, even though we were broke. There was absolutely no budget. There was nothing back then. I just thought, you know, so many people love Disneyland, and there are so many real-life frontier lands and adventure lands and so many real-life inspirations for the place that we could visit. I've been passionate about history, so I was stoked that people came on board for a little Mark Twain adventure, because nothing like that about Hannibal, Missouri had existed online. And I know because I was searching and searching for years, like, I just want to see what it looks like around Mark Twain's boyhood home. That was a big part of the inspiration for Randomland, the way I was trying to film it, fighting those old cameras. I really wanted to show the context, you know, show more of these places out there, film my favorite places, share them with you guys. I just thought, why stop at a theme park's boundary? You know, there's a huge world with so many amazing things in it to experience, to share. But don't worry, of course, we came straight back to Disneyland right after. After all, I am an Anaheim boy, born and raised, so there's a lot more original Magic Kingdom ahead and a lot more random stuff. All right, let's go back in time. Bam!
Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin.
Your
shirt is glowing.
Good. I bought it at the clothes store.
Also your teeth.
Oh no.
We flashed with plenty of fluoride. Whoa!
This is gonna hurt you a lot more than it's gonna hurt me.
Look at this. It's the weird brick hole. What makes this particular mailbox weird is that right in the middle of all this happiness is this. Death.
Oh hey man, I was just noticing Mr. Toad's like really into himself.
Pinocchio wasn't delivered by a stork. That's no elephant. That's a human child up there.
Oh no! Don't drop the baby!
Well, there you go. 5 weird things from Fantasyland. What does Sacramento have to do with the Disneyland Resort? This! What in the world? For those of you who have no idea why I'm so excited or what the heck I'm talking about these ginormous letters. For just 1 month shy of 10 years, these letters stood out in front of California Adventure, and thousands of guests took their picture posing next to the letters. It was all part of the old entrance, which was set up to look kind of like a California postcard. Aw, F. You always had the best jokes. One of the coolest things that we got to see in Marceline was the original bandstand / gazebo where Walt Disney used to watch all kinds of concerts in the park, which got me to thinking, why did they never build one for Main Street, USA? They did. Here it is, located just a few miles from the beach, the original Disneyland bandstand. Just a little ways from the beach and a lot of ways from Disneyland, the gazebo still exists. It's amazing to think that if this gazebo could talk, it could tell you stories about opening day at Disneyland. It could talk to you about the original Mickey Mouse Club, Walt Disney.
Tell me tales of Walt, Gazebo.
Dapper Day is the day that everybody like kind of goes a little crazy and dresses up, wild, whatever your style is.
The castle always looks dapper. Well, you're not looking very dapper, horse.
Well, at least I don't look like a donkey.
Tough but fair.
Go home and sleep well.
Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp? Depp? Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp? Dapper, 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 Johnny Depp? We're back at Train Town. It's become a big, legendary part of many thousands of people's childhoods. But of course, the main attraction is still the train. So let's take a ride. Woo! I'm excited! Train Town! Woo! Just ignore the real size building.
Yes.
Think miniature.
The world grew up around Train Town, and Train Town never grew up.
Just like Disneyland.
Oh, for wilderness.
This is where we gotta get down and do some of that Scooty Pootin'.
Scooty Pootin'.
Halloween at Disneyland. Even Tilly's all dressed up. Why don't you ever return my phone calls? This one is actually kind of terrifying. All right, now it's time for the actual Halloween carnival itself. Looks like we got plenty of Disney characters out here in their Halloween costumes.
Oh shit. I've been apprehended.
I've been afraid! This is not the man you're looking for! You call it wrong, you just everyone!
Some scary noises coming out of there. Take at this, take at this.
Awesome.
Sorry, one last thing. We can clap.
Everyone is
We're back at... Where are we? We're gonna take a very short, as short as possible visit to this abandoned, haunted prison.
This is the
Let's
worst
take a look
idea we've ever had as a duo.
at this creepy prison. How you doing, buddy?
Okay, we're in the torture room / recreation right now.
Whoa. Jeez.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a heart attack and die, but I mean, if it's my time, it's my time.
You get a little anxious around abandoned prison? Anything specific or just all together?
All of it pretty much.
It's just sort of a soup of Tyler hates all of this.
I used to play tag right in this area as a child.
So does this creep you out coming
It
here?
does creep me out. It scares me a little bit.
You scare me with the look on your face sometimes, man.
My no eyebrow.
What are we worried about?
Mojave greens.
The Mojave greens are the what most poisonous?
The third most poisonous snake in, I think, California or the U.S. or the world, or I don't know. They're really poisonous.
What we got?
Hey! Hey! Who is that? That's not Doug, bro. No, right
guys,
here,
guys.
There's a person.
What?
I'm f***ing out.
Yep.
Done.
Who is that? You guys are awful.
That's not Doug, bro. That's not Doug, bro.
I forgot who I am. I forgot your name. Look at this.
The scariest thing
This is not a dead person.
I've had a pretty
What's your name?
Sam.
Sam!
Not being funny, but we thought that was a dead guy. Still makes me laugh. To this day, I always think, that's not Doug, bro. Anyways, back to 2014.
Don't be alarmed. We have not gone back in time. No, instead, we're here in lovely and scenic Cabazon, California to take a look at Claude Bell's Dinosaurs. Claude Bell actually got his start as a sand sculptor. That's how he got the Sweet Knott's Berry Farm money, and with that, he was able to open up this restaurant, The Wheel Inn.
And what better way to promote your roadside restaurant than by adding some dinosaurs?
Claude Bell's original plan for Denny was to have the eyes glowing and the mouth spitting fire. Please, not the fire! And once again, you can actually go up inside of Mr. Rex. So this is the first time for me.
I've waited a long time to do this.
Let's do this.
Soaked.
Let's go inside of Mr. Rex. Pretty awesome.
This is beyond pretty awesome.
How often do you get to sit in a T-Rex?
This is my first time ever in my whole life.
Hopefully there'll be more times in more T-Rex's mouths. Just need some more Claude Bells to build them. We already found 5 weird things in Fantasyland and 5 weird things in Critter Country. It's time to find 5 weird things in Tomorrowland. All the planters in Tomorrowland stopped growing flowers and started growing food and herbs and seasonings you could actually use. Is this the food of the future or something more nefarious? Are you trying to take over our world? Cliff Secord? It's a door. But look, it's so little. Weird. Hollywood is getting back in the Christmas spirit. Not very Christmassy at the Wiener store, but up here, a little hint of Christmas. Tower of Terror doesn't really look very Christmassy. So, Bugs Land?
Bugs Land.
Bugs Land.
Bugs Land.
I mean, they do have these giant Christmas lights strung up across the walkways, but they always have those.
Well, it's
so
Christmas.
Does it count?
It's Christmas though.
There we go. Kind of hard to see in the dark, but giant Christmas bulbs.
Oh, I get it. Ornaments.
You excited to meet Santa?
I've never met him in the flesh.
Hi, Santa. Ah, I want a red Ryder BB gun. Here we go.
I know exactly what you're looking for. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
See? Santa gets it. Santa, we love you.
Oh, we really do.
Ever since that first Christmas in 1955, the park has been decorated for the holidays. But even though holiday cheer is sprinkled throughout the entire park, nowhere is the spirit of Christmas more powerful than on Main Street, USA. See what I mean? It's all looking pretty wonderful. This castle transforms from this wonderfulness to even more wonderful wonderfulness.
All right, there you have it. As you saw, we ended with Disneyland at the holidays, much like we did here 10 years later in 2024. And now we've got 2025 looming just around the corner, which is going to be crazy because that's going to be the 10-year anniversary of Disneyland's 60th anniversary. That's the thing that really exploded all the Instagram accounts and YouTube channels and all that kind of stuff. Really changed the landscape forever, made Disneyland kind of hip and cool again. And we had so many epic adventures that year, so much stuff going on. It is just crazy to think that it's almost been 10 years. By the way, 2015 also the 10-year anniversary of me and Allie starting to date, even though we met each other the year before. Just so many incredible things happened that year, and I cannot believe we're already approaching the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. I gotta tell you, it feels like it happened really, really fast, although my body says, oh yeah, it's definitely been 10 years. And it's not just the years, it's the mileage. We've had so many adventures since 2014. It's crazy how far the videos have come, how far the camera technology has changed. Like I was saying, how much better things look in beautiful 4K. That was clearly not beautiful 4K back then. It's crazy just how many cameras you see now everywhere, how many channels there are, just on any subject, for anything on the planet, but it felt so new and strange and weird. You get so many weird looks back then. Still get weird looks today, but it's people going, hey, look, there's a vlogger over there. I mean, they know what you're doing now. Back then, there were many times, and Adam the Woo, my friend, can attest to this, many times where security would be like, are you a security threat? What are you filming for? And that's just the stuff that's coming to mind just from watching that footage with you guys. I was also thinking there's also been, presidential elections and pandemics and all kinds of stuff since then. The world has changed so much in the last 10 years. And yet, Walt Disney's original Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, is still here, and so am I. And as long as there's breath and any level of strength left in my old, decrepit body, the adventures will continue. So, I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you had a nice little break from the norm. Hopefully you're getting a little holiday rest. I know that's what I've been trying to do the last couple of days because a brand new year awaits us, and there are so many more adventures left to have. For now, after contemplating the fact that I've been doing this for 11 years, running around, filming, having crazy adventures, I feel a little bit tired. I think for today, we've done our duty. You can go home and sleep well. See you guys next time. Adios. I almost forgot to mention, I'm also doing a pin giveaway over on Instagram. So find my Instagram, go to that latest post over there, leave a comment about what your favorite part of this video was, and 3 of you will get a sick Disney pin. I'll just pick some up to give to you. They're pretty sweet. Kind of the best ones of the lot that I saw out here today at Downtown Disney. I just tend to interact more and read all the comments way more on Instagram, so I like letting people know that that exists. And I like giving stuff away, so go and check that out. We'll do more in the future, hopefully in 2025, but that's it for now, guys. I'm signing off. Thanks for sticking with me. Some of you for all those 10 years and then some. For the rest of you, maybe some of you are just jumping on board. Welcome to Randomland. I can't wait until you see what's coming this year. But enough said about that. Go home and sleep. I don't know why I'm climbing it. It moves by itself. Gotta get my steps in. So you know one thing that's changed the last 10 years. I gained probably like 80 pounds. Well, I gained more than that, but I lost some, so I'm probably 80 pounds heavier. Whoa, that's okay. There's just more of me to love. Hey, you know what else we haven't done in a while? Deo! Mi sere, Deo. Daylight come and we want to go home. By the way, real quick, shout out to some folks who were definitely hanging around 2014. Adam the Woo, of course. Dave from Fresh Baked. And even occasionally Mig V. My old school chums. Just a little shout out to the homies. Now, where the heck? Wait a minute. I'm lost. Woo! Hello! Smeagol! Battles! Oh, there's my car. Woo!